Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro. Welcome to the second part of our updated Oscar predictions for October. You're watching this in November, but that's okay. We're just a little late to the October predictions, but they're still the October predictions. Make no mistake. Let's start off with cinematography, one of my favorite categories. Number one is 1917. This should come as a surprise to nobody. Legendary Roger Deakins is shooting this film in one take. It has been confirmed. The Lighthouse, number two. We think that this movie's not getting many nominations. Doesn't seem like it's in the Academy's wheelhouse, but they cannot resist the black and white, gorgeous, old-looking cinematography, narrow aspect ratio, cinematography jizz the whole way through. This is a lock. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, number three, Inglourious Basterds, Django Unchained were both nominated in this category.
It's cinematography, sure.
We have Joker at number four,
Which is impressive.
pretty incredible how they really transformed every room they're in to have this iconic Joker look. I think there's a lot to appreciate in the cinematography. If this movie ends up being a non-Best Picture contender, we'll see if it can still get in.
But the competition in cinematography, I don't think is that huge this year. I think the fact that people have The Irishman in, which I guess is your next prediction, it seems like, with this narrow category it could get nominated, but I personally didn't think the Irishman had amazing cinematography at all. A little disappointing for a Scorsese movie, I thought. Nonetheless, here we are. Irishman's number two on Gold Derby, and it seems like it's gonna get a nomination, I guess. The Scorsese's gangster films don't really get nominated for cinematography, which is why I'm still skeptical that The Irishman will get nominated, and it had a TV look, in my opinion. I mean, what if Jojo Rabbit just starts getting cinematography?
No, stop it, please.
It had good cinematography.
No, it just had cinematography.
What
that
about the
looks
slow
clear.
motion war scene?
Slow motion is not great cinematography.
Okay, but some people might think it is.
That's come on.
It matters what people think it is.
I don't even. You want me to put it on my list?
No, I don't want you. No, I don't.
Okay, then
No, I don't.
shut your mouth. Ford v Ferrari could get in as well.
Yeah, that could get in. People are talking.
Hidden Life. Because this isn't Lubezki like Malick's other films, there's no name to this cinematographer, and it's a little bit of an impersonation of what Lubezki does maybe, but there are mountains in the background of every shot in this movie, and it looks gorgeous from the trailer.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like a movie that might catch on that much upon release, except for the Malick diehards.
Maybe this is a solo cinematography movie. I'm not really sure.
Little Women, number 8. I don't really hear this being called you have to nominate the cinematography here. There's some good looking moments from the trailer. I don't know.
It's not impossible, but I feel like they'd have to be doing The Favorite thing where they're shooting with totally natural light, and it doesn't look like they're doing that.
Ad Astra's number 9. Some people think this is higher. I just don't see Ad Astra performing that well outside of a couple categories. We'll talk about them later, but
sad because it has great cinematography.
Yeah, I wish. Parasite, some people are saying, can this get cinematography?
Maybe.
I don't know if Parasite's gonna dominate technicals. I think it's gonna be lucky to get one or two. And Waves seems to have incredible cinematography.
People say it's stunning. People say there's long takes. It's dizzying camera work.
I don't see it getting a lone cinematography nomination, so it's unless Waves is getting other nominations, then it's probably not going to get this nomination. Best editing, The Irishman out front. The Irishman's winning editing right now. All right, folks. It is being commended for being 3.5 hours long and yet being brisk and fast-paced and not dragging, not being boring. That is why people are saying this is going to win editing. And in addition, it's one of the frontrunners for Best Picture, and so therefore a huge editing contender. Ford v Ferrari, probably the most showy editing of the year.
And could win, I think.
It's like this year's Baby Driver,
Exactly.
It's in there, but it's not going to win. Marriage Story, I hope gets nominated. Phenomenal editing in that film. Lots of montages and it's just perfect. And they will nominate, movies that are a little more subtle about the editing. So I think that puts Marriage Story solidly in there as a top contender. Jojo Rabbit.
That movie is editing.
Does it need to get nominated for editing? No, it doesn't need to. But is it going to? Probably. It's just going to.
There was some interesting transitions. I think it's definitely enough to get nominated for editing.
And editing is often a category where you see movies get in just because they're big contenders. Look at Green Book.
Yeah, I think that's the movie that's low on the list right now, but will crawl up.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 5.
Just because, sure,
Parasite as an upcoming top contender. This could also get nominated for editing. I think it'd be deserved.
Just the pacing of the movie is very brisk.
It might have a tough time getting technical nominations. It's not Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon or Diving Bell and the Butterfly where it's whoa.
It's not particularly stylized, but it's just like perfectly like captures the tone and everything. It's just not like a standout achievement, even though the editing in Parasite is fantastic.
Little Women, just as a Best Picture contender, can be here. 1917, which I think on Gold Derby is number 4, as I see.
Right.
I don't buy that. I don't buy it. Roma didn't get nominated because of long takes. Birdman didn't get nominated and that was one take. I think that's all you need. Birdman, people thought was getting nominated, and it didn't. They thought, oh, well, the lack of editing is the achievement. No, is it? Queen and Slim at number 9. If this movie does catapult, it seems like a movie that it's going to have a lot of editing, a lot of style. Joker is 10. Even if Joker ends up getting some technical nominations, this doesn't seem like the most mandatory one. Bombshell at 11. Before Bombshell came out, I was like, ooh, is this going to be like The Big Short or I, Tonya even? But the early reactions aren't really suggesting that it has like that much style.
Yeah, I think what people need to look out for is like Jojo Rabbit. The movie that's going to get nominated for Best Picture that you're like, well, there's not much editing in it, but like they don't care. At the end of the day, they will nominate that if they really like the movie.
And The Two Popes, just in case. I know everybody was mad that we put Two Popes on our list last time, which, you know, I get it. You know, watch out. That's all I gotta say is watch out. And I might be wrong and you'll be happy, but
I think it's in the basket of movies that just could.
Cats still winning.
Cats
is not on the top 5.
I don't give a fuck. Cats is gonna get nominated for production design. Fuck you. If you might not like it, you might think the cats look weird. The production design looks like stunning achievement level, like Oscar winning level.
It's either gonna get not nominated or it's gonna win. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
They are tiny cats. Everything around them is big.
But if it absolutely sucks, then they won't nominate it.
It's going to have people who like it, and it's going to get nominated for production design. I'm so sorry.
It's also sort of the only movie that I can see winning.
Yeah, 1917, I agree. Number 2, because that has war stuff. It's like outside. They're doing long takes. I mean, they have to build these like giant, massive outdoor sets. I mean, how is it? That's just so much production design. My God.
Jojo Rabbit is number 3. Do not underestimate. The Oscars love World War II shit.
You know,
and it's also quirky and fun like Budapest Hotel. Parasite number 4, they built the damn house. If you understand what they actually built, it's everything, and it's an achievement. It's a huge achievement. The only problem is that you'd likely watch the movie, as I did on the first time, and go, it's cool that they found that house. That house is perfect for this movie. No, they built the house. They didn't just find it. They built it.
Roman was at number 9 in production design at this point last year. And I think that's sort of what
And they built
Parasite
that
is.
house too. At this point, it's an awareness campaign. If we can get everybody to realize like how much was put into this, then it can get nominated. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 5.
It's at number 1 right now, Cole. Number 1.
Really? Number 1?
Yeah.
Can it win?
No. It's at number 1 in a lot of categories that it really shouldn't be number
That's true.
1 for, Cole.
They did recreate like 1969 LA and Hollywood jizz. I was having a lot of trouble with this top 6 because I was thinking like every one of these movies is a lock, but there's 6 of them. Just because Little Women is 6 doesn't mean that like I just don't know what to do.
Jackie got snubbed. Like, it's weird stuff can get snubbed. Jackie got snubbed for Hail Caesar.
Yeah, what if Little Women is like Jackie or Phantom Thread, where it gets costumes and not production design?
And Carol also didn't get production designs. They're not as inclined to jizz on these period films as some people may think.
And then The Irishman, which is number 2 on Gold Derby right now. I don't agree. Like, what's the production design? It seems like they just went on locations and rented out like real restaurants. Like, I don't know why it would get nominated. I don't know why it's number 2. And I have a top 6 here that I am not willing to exchange. So I don't know.
I think people want to put Irishman on for every category, seeing it as like this Oscar epic. And they haven't really watched the movie yet. That's why I think it's so high for cinematography. Because they assume that it's going to be like this amazing technical thing. But I didn't see it that way.
Joker for number 8. I think Joker did an incredible job of transforming real locations to create this gritty taxi driver sort of New York City. I wouldn't be disappointed to see it nominated, but I don't know if it's like one of the must-nominate categories for this movie.
Will the Academy go for this? It's a harder one to see. Aeronauts only because Passengers got nominated for production design. Only because Passengers got a nomination. Hollywood is number 1 for costumes. I don't believe it. I just don't think that's like even a lock for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm very confused about what could win costumes. Right now I have Little Women at number 1. Little Women's all about the costume.
Yeah, Little Women can win costumes. I would say that's probably the front runner. Yeah,
Jojo Rabbit's number 2 because I just know it's getting nominated.
Also, because Jojo Rabbit has really good costumes. Like the Boy Scout costumes, everything Scarlett Johansson wears. I think there's some notable costumes in there. It should get a nomination.
Look what's number 8 on Gold Derby.
Oh,
it's Jojo Rabbit.
Wow.
So we're kind of calling this the Grand Budapest Hotel, folks. Quirky costumes and World War II mixed together. That's all you need. Rocket Man, number 3. Taron wore some funky ass shit in that movie. I think it's
staying pretty strong at number 5, even though Rocket Man's like nowhere in other categories.
I have Hollywood at 4.
I'm not gonna say it's a lock at all. Where are the costumes in this movie that are like so notable?
Well, remember like the party scenes and stuff? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood actually could be commended for how each costume suits like particular characters really well, but it's not as extravagant as bigger contenders. Dolomite Is My Name, I think, is number 5. Something that really stands out about that film is the costumes. They were done by Ruth E. Carter, who won last year for Black Panther. It completely brings you into the world just through the costumes. Like, they are wacky and they are zany. It might be the movie's only nomination, which kind of makes me hesitant.
I feel like, Cole, that would be like the nice top 5. That's like the top 5 I want to see. But then we have contenders like Downton Abbey.
I have Aladdin next, and I was really considering if this should be on the top 5, because, like, maybe this movie could win. Like, is that dumb?
No.
I mean, they're the most colorful. Little Women is like Easter egg dresses, but Aladdin is like wacky like dance numbers, and everyone's wearing puffy pants. With a lot of these technical categories, maybe we're overestimating that like all the contenders are going to be Best Picture nominees. In most years, you get a couple that are Disney movies.
Often I feel like it's more like 1 or 2. 3 is rare.
Downton Abbey. Yeah, I think Downton Abbey might actually fucking get costumes, Justin.
Are you kidding me?
Just costumes, though. Like, relax. Like, it's not even that big of a deal if it does get them. I can easily see it getting, like, a Critics' Choice nomination. I can see it getting a BAFTA nomination. Like, I'm okay.
I just don't like that the TV show can suddenly contend for, like, movie awards just because they made it into an hour-and-a-half format. Like,
yeah, like, what if you did that with Game of Thrones, and then just Game of Thrones has to win all, like, the technical Oscars? It's not fair.
Now people think, like, Maggie Smith's gonna get a nomination for playing this character she's already played in a TV show. I just don't like it. I don't like any of that.
Aeronauts for costumes.
It's them in a balloon.
No, but like if you look at the scenes on the ground, like there's some fucking cost.
You don't have Judy anywhere?
I don't know why Judy would get nominated.
Judy's number 7 right now.
I watched Judy and I didn't think about the costumes once.
Where's Cats?
Cats doesn't have costumes. They CG'd everything.
What are the maybes? Harriet's a maybe. Joker's a maybe, but like probably not. Judy's maybe, probably not.
Let's talk about The Irishman, which is number 4 on Gold Derby. For costumes.
That's no.
No. Listen. Star is Born was in the top 5 for production design costumes last year, and we said, excuse me, why? Not gonna happen.
There's just like no costumes. There's one time where they go to Florida, so the guy's wearing like a floral pattern and it's like a part of the scene. And that is like all the costumes you're gonna get besides like men in suits.
Don't just put The Irishman in for every goddamn category just because it's The Irishman.
You're acting like The Irishman is like an 18th century like period drama.
Best score, 1917. Thomas Newman, 14-0 for Oscar nominations. Let's get him an Oscar. Marriage Story. Randy Newman did an incredible job. I think that's obviously getting nominated.
Yeah, that's a lock.
Joker, I think, is also a lock for score.
Yep.
It's being commended across the board. And it should get nominated.
Probably second most likely nomination, I'd say.
And we have Little Women, Alexander Desplat. I'm not hearing unanimous praise that this is one of his best scores, but can we underestimate Desplat at this point?
No, he's definitely going to get a nomination for this. Some people think it's a really good score.
But I will say that I think he's snubbable. I put in Star Wars 9. First of all, they nominated the first two.
You need to explain yourself.
First of all, they nominated the first two. I know that trilogies don't always repeat. Like The Hobbit will get nominated twice in a certain category and then just not get it.
Of it.
I know that happens, but listen, this movie is also going to be the finale, and it's gonna do all kinds of throwbacks to the classic theme songs. And again, everyone's gonna go, "Oh, John Williams, oh."
That's a little true, yeah.
Ford v Ferrari is next in line. I think that there's a lot of praise going around for this score. The Aeronauts, Stephen Price.
I could see that.
Don't underestimate it. Stephen Price did Gravity, and people say that the score for this is one of the best parts of the film. It's an adventure movie. It's gonna have a big adventure score. Next is Parasite. I want this to be nominated very much, but I
think the problem here is that Parasite's score is very a la carte. It does not have a central theme running through it. The instrumentation changes very often. It's very all over the map.
Ad Astra is not really for the Academy. I think it's really slow, and I don't know if they're gonna care about it that much to nominate it.
It's like how First Man didn't get nominated
Yeah.
for score, and that had a very prominent, memorable score. How sad. I mean, Ad Astra, Max Richter is a big name, but he's very subtle, and it almost like blends with the sound design in a weird way.
Queen and Slim have heard good things thus far about this score, but I also hear that Devonte Hines is not just scoring it, he's like curating a soundtrack, so I don't know if the soundtrack could be more prominent than the score. And we have Us.
There's one good theme in that, and then the ending track is good, but everything else is like sort of like run-of-the-mill horror.
Sound editing, 1917 is number 1. Ford v Ferrari is providing a really tough competition, though.
I think Ford v Ferrari is number 1 in sounds, and you think 1917 is number 1. 1917 loses the edge because it's the more typical pick. It's more like what they would go for.
Which is exactly
But like they might be like, no, but the sound of the year is coming from Ford v Ferrari.
Close your eyes. Imagine being in a Dolby theater and you're seeing 1917 for the first time.
Yeah, it's in one
and he's
take,
running through the thing, and there's an explosion back here, and there's an explosion over here. Absolutely
But
incredible
Ford v
sound.
Ferrari is like the same, where like the sound, just you're just like...
Baby Driver versus Dunkirk. This already happened.
No, Baby Driver wasn't a race car movie. I think they're like neck and neck.
Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. You know,
Because Star Wars gets nominated for sound.
Yeah,
What
they're-
else do you need to say?
The other Star Wars films have been nominated here, so why wouldn't you put this in? Ad Astra also fills that slot of being the space movie that gets nominated for sound, a la First Man and
Very
Blade
impressive.
Runner, and the sound of the lunar gun chase scene. That's all you need to get it nominated. I'm gonna go with The Aeronauts for number 5.
I mean, they're in a balloon in the air, so it kind of makes sense.
There's gonna be sound, like a rope's gonna snap, and then they're gonna be trying to catch it or something. And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Avengers Endgame, of course that's gonna get nominated," but the other Avengers films didn't get nominated. Yes, Avengers Endgame is a better film than the other Avengers, but is the sound better? Is it actually a technically better made movie than the other ones? The answer is no. Well, on Gold Derby, I think it's number 4.
It's number 4 in both. No, I don't buy it either because they might have like a disdain for this kind of sound, it not being unique or original.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, it doesn't have like gunshots and stuff, so I wouldn't put it up there, but Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has really good sound. Sometimes they do nominate just like a Best Picture contender. Irishman, sort of the same reason as Hollywood, but even less so. Like, it's not really a sound movie.
Irishman, I don't think get nominated.
And then Rocket Man. Bohemian Rhapsody proved that you can get nominated for sound editing because people think it's sound mixing. Actually, La La Land also proved that.
Yeah.
So we have to put it on there, but it's also not as big a contender as those two. And sound mixing. The same top 4. We have the same exact top 4 for the same exact reasons. Changing it up in sound mixing is that Rocket Man is number 5. It's a music movie and people have fun when the music booms through the theater, and that's sound mixing. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is number 6 for this. Sometimes Best Picture nominees like The King's Speech get nominated for sound mixing.
Cole, the King's Speech got nominated because he made a speech, and he went, and everybody heard it because it went through the sound speakers. Hit the hiccups.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has enough sound to merit that. They're driving in the car with music playing.
And then I also think we need to consider the possibility that Cats can get nominated here. He won for Les Mis. Tom Hooper won his sound. Tom Hooper's movie won sound for Les Mis, and he's gonna do the same thing for Cats, where he's gonna have him live singing.
But it's going to be less liked.
But can they resist?
Endgame is next. It could get nominated, but is it going to? Like, is it actually going to? Aeronauts, I don't know what to say about it. And The Irishman. Visual effects. Number 1, The Irishman.
Really?
Yeah, because think about it. Do they really care about The Lion King? The Lion King has great visual effects, but they don't serve a worthy purpose.
They like the story that the visual effects help tell, and I think The Irishman has that, so you're probably right.
I mean, think about it. They gave it to Babe for talking animals, and now they're going to give it to The Irishman for talking people. They're completely different types of visual effects, but also Benjamin Button winning. That's kind of like The Irishman. Ad Astra is 3. I don't see how this doesn't get nominated. I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie, and there's a ton of visual effects to nominate.
If they like First Man, they have to nominate.
Yeah, exactly. They love the space movie. Avengers Endgame and Star Wars at number 5. I can't even believe this is number 5 because also obviously a lock. All the other Star Wars movies get nominated for this. So this is an extremely airtight top 5. I could see Detective Pikachu randomly like making the short list. and then randomly getting a nomination like Christopher Robin. Cats is weird, and they're doing CGI on the face to make them have whiskers and everything, which is impressive but creepy. So do we care that it's creepy if it's impressive? I'm not sure. The Aeronauts has visual effects too, but it's not going to compete with this top 6.
Aladdin. Wait, is there a talking monkey in Aladdin? Well, yeah.
There's actually a CGI monkey.
Well, okay, yeah, but it sucks. It's like it looks like Boots and Dora.
I don't care. They had the genie was CGI, and they have elephants and shit. Makeup and hair. Bombshell is winning because Charlize Theron looks like Megyn Kelly and John Lithgow is in a fat suit. This is the kind of movie that wins makeup. Joker is number 2. Very obvious why this would get nominated.
He's wearing clown face.
Judy is getting nominated most likely because...
Did they make up her?
I don't think they did prosthetics, but
the hair.
There's so much makeup that she's kind of unrecognizable anyway. The Irishman at number 4. I'm not sure the extent to which they combined makeup with CGI. I'm sure that they did. It would be a lot damn easier. Benjamin Button won visual effects and makeup at the same time for the similar, they're doing aging work on the face. Rocketman recently won the Hollywood award for makeup. It had some weird makeup. I didn't like the makeup in the movie. Bryce Dallas Howard's aging makeup was really weird. They gave her 2 puff cheeks that looked like if you poked them, they would just be really solid, and it was weird.
Yeah.
They would nominate it anyway. Star Wars. The other ones didn't get nominated for makeup, but they have expanded to 5 slots now. So Aladdin and Cats, which might be entirely just they just put dots in their face and there's no makeup, but maybe there is an extent to which there is makeup. Animated feature, Toy Story 4 is obviously winning. Frozen 2 is number 2. It's probably going to be good and not as good as the original. Abominable, it seems like a pretty safe hit. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World got a lot less buzz than the other ones, but Wuthering With You could be the Mirai of this year.
It's not the Hayao Miyazaki pick.
Yeah, it's maybe a little anime for the Oscars, so I don't know if it's more of an acquired taste that they don't have. But it's also a battle between that and Missing Link, which was well liked but did very poorly at the box office, and I don't know if it being such a bomb will impact its chances or not. Guess what's not here, Justin? Shaun the Sheep is not here. Do you know why Shaun the Sheep's not here?
Disqualified.
They released a list of 36 films that the Shaun the Sheep movie just didn't get it. I don't know what happened, but the bottom line is it's not getting nominated because it's not eligible. And Spies in Disguise, who knows if this is just Abominable and it's charming and nice, but it'll probably be a mediocre animated movie like The Addams Family. International feature. I don't know all the movies that are getting submitted. I can only speak to a few of them, but these seem to be a top 5 that with the strongest contenders. Parasite, obviously winning. Pain and Glory, Banderas is a contender, and Almodovar is a huge name. Les Miserables, which is the French film that was submitted over Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which still makes me sad.
So better be good.
I actually hear it's very good, and they submitted it because it's more of a crowd pleaser.
I feel if Parasite weren't in, that movie could actually take it from Pain and Glory.
And then Atlantics, which I think has been getting a fair amount of buzz. And the same with Monos, which is being commended for beautiful cinematography and a score by Mika Levi. And we have original song. I've finally done the research and can talk about this category. There's actually quite a few blockbuster songs that they could nominate and have a good time performing. Rocketman, I'm Gonna Love Me Again. Taron Egerton and Elton John are singing. They get to go around and perform the song together. And wouldn't that be so fun to see them performing together at the Oscars?
I think we'd have a fun time with that.
Yeah, and then if you give this movie the Oscar, then Elton John gets to give a speech winning for a movie that's about him.
And he gets to thank Taron for playing him so wonderfully.
There are a few films who could solidify a frontrunner status. This is just my guess at the moment. Frozen 2, Into the Unknown. I don't see this achieving the heights of Let It Go, but it seems like this is the song that they're trying to do that with. And then The Lion King. Beyonce did a song called Spirit, which, when that happened, I was like, oh God, Beyonce's gonna get an Oscar. But does anyone give a shit about this song? Harriet has a song by Cynthia Erivo called Stand Up. This type of song gets nominated a lot. I mean, look at the song from Selma by Common.
Fight for your rights, fight for your rights.
Taylor Swift is doing a song for Cats, an original song. You can nominate Taylor Swift for an Oscar. Oh, how fun. Toy Story 4, all the other Toy Stories have been nominated or won original song, with Randy Newman doing a song from each. This one feels a little less like weighty. There's a song from Aladdin called Speechless, but hell if I have heard of this song, and I don't know if anybody gives a shit. So Toy Story 4 has another song. It just seems less likely than the other one though. There's a song called Daily Battles that Tom York did for Motherless Brooklyn, but Tom York, it's just not gonna happen. It's just like something that people want to see happen. Like that'd be cool if Tom York was nominated for an Oscar, but thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Are any of your parents getting nominated this year?